gentlemen, the night has arrived. We couldn't wait to
Sir.
talk about this. It's not a full episode. That's my guy Adis Kuchvich. I'm Jay Boyle. But as you're all aware, tonight we have UFC 251, the first event on Fight Island in Abu Dhabi. And
Sir.
the main event gets us tingling, man. You got Jorge
Yeah.
Masvidal stepping in to take on Kamaru Usman. And it's going to be a legendary fight. Everybody's excited. This is probably the best card that we've had in 2020. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, 100%. It's either this one or that Gaethje and Ferguson one. But personally, I guess
think this one takes
recency
the
bias.
cake.
Yeah, I'm more excited for this one. 3 title fights in one card. It's just madness.
All right, so they both clocked in at their 170 weight. Perfect weight cut by Masvidal in 6 days. He said it was
Bro,
treacherous. I
I'm
can
about to
only
say,
imagine.
man lost 22 pounds in 6 days. Yo, make a diet plan. If you can lose 22 pounds in 6 days, bro, the world should be following you, especially
much-
those that want to lose weight.
You know how much money you would make? And the thing is, he didn't even have access to a sauna because he had to wait for his COVID testing. You wouldn't have had
Exactly.
sauna access till like just the day before.
Yeah, man, you see that hot towel shit they're doing on him?
No, I didn't see that. What
Oh,
were they doing?
they like cover your body in hot towels, so like overheats your body and starts to like force your body to like start throwing out
Sweat.
like sweat. Yeah,
Wow. Homemade
brutal,
sauna.
bro. There's a UFC fighter actually, Darren Till, who did that exact technique and went blind for like I think the day. Like he went to the hospital because he couldn't see anything. That shit is dangerous, bro. And the fact that these fighters can do that shit time and time again, it's unreal, bro.
It speaks to the level of animal these guys are. They're not human. They're not sane. So the first thing I want to get your opinion, I want to kick off of. Does one guy or the other have the advantage not knowing their opponent until 6 days ago?
Okay, so a lot of people have been talking that the advantage is gonna go on to the side of Usman
I don't think
because
so.
he has been training for a fight at the very least, right? But okay, so you're on my side here. To me, the advantage is on Masvidal.
Yeah, he's coming in.
Kamaru Usman was training for a guy who was
Exactly.
completely different, and now in 6 days he has to change up his whole game plan.
Where
He said it
Masvidal's
himself. He
yeah.
had a little like freak out moment when Masvidal was taking the fight. He was like kind of like, oh shit, should I do this? Should I do this? And then he talked himself into it.
Yeah, like he's got to wipe everything from his brain from like a 2-month training camp. Where Masvidal's, fresh canvas. Okay, 6 days. Let's just focus in on this guy, which he's probably already been doing because he's wanted this fight for a long time.
Bro, listen, since his last fight, he's known that his next fight is gonna be this guy. I train every day. I'm not a pro. These guys are in the gym. Don't be fooled. Don't think that these guys are chilling, drinking cokes, or just freaking, putting on a beer belly or something, and thinking these guys ain't in the gym every single day.
They're not Tyson
These
Fury.
guys get paid. Yeah, exactly. Even him though, he's drinking Diet Coke. The man's in the gym every single day. And again, he's been training for one guy, and apparently he's been bringing in wrestlers for the last few months now, time and time again.
He's supposedly been training with the top collegiate wrestler in North America. So getting ready for this.
Looking for. Yeah.
All right. So Masvidal had an 18-month layoff.
Yep.
And then comes back, beats Darren Till, gets knocked down in the first round, and then second round, TKO. See you later. Peace out. Right? Then he goes record-breaking performance against Ben Askren. Flying knee to the head. Your head top dome cut off.
Couldn't have gone better.
Right? Shows how tough his chin is against Nate Diaz in a slugfest and wins that on decision. And now here we are today. What would this?
TKO.
Oh,
it cut. Remember?
Okay, I guess, yeah. And then here we are today.
I guess, yeah.
Here we are today with him getting his first title chance. He set the record for most fights before a title opportunity with 49 fights. What would this mean if Jorge Masvidal were to be crowned welterweight champion tonight?
Bro, I'm gonna explain something to you about Masvidal. I've been watching this guy for 10 plus years, and the fact that he's still here and that he's at his best, madness. But this is a guy his fighting career is born in the uncomfortable. This guy started his fighting career at a McDonald's drive-thru, getting a call from Kimbo Slice to come fight the Hood Savage Ray. This guy is about 40 fucking pounds heavier than him. In comes this little Cubanos with a freaking ponytail, bro. Everyone's like, yo, no, this guy's gonna get killed. And this guy that he fought in the street just knocked out another guy in a few seconds. So you want to talk about being uncomfortable and scared? That's the situation that you're in. And like since then, this guy's had one of the most decorated careers. Not even just as a UFC fighter, as an MMA fighter, having 40 plus fights, more fights than anyone else in the roster, really, I think.
Hmm.
But to this point, to get to this point, and this being his first title shot, let me explain to you. He in 2017 fought a guy, Damian Maia, and that if he had that win, that was for the number one contender fight for the welterweight title. And instead, he goes on to lose a really close decision. A lot of people argue that he won, but he lost. So title shot goes to Maia. He goes on to fight a guy who's at the time unsolvable puzzle in Wonderboy Thompson. Loses again, so now he's back-to-back losses. Has had
That's tough.
30 plus fights in his career, so he's had a career. Unlike most guys who are kind of like they're coming up, he's already been up there, gone down, and gone back up. And you're at a weird point. You don't know like where do you go from here. You haven't even had a title shot, right? So what does he do? He gets put on a Dominican reality show called Exatlon Estados, where they put top athletes in swimming, running, fighting, clearly, and just wherever. They take these top athletes, they put them on
Yeah.
an island where they have no cell phone, they have no connection to the outside world, and now they're gonna compete against each other in obstacle courses or whatever to see who's the best athlete, right? And what does Masvidal do? He goes on this island. He takes this time to really sit down, close his eyes, meditate, and think about what the hell am I gonna do once I leave this place.
Yeah.
You know what he decides?
And
I'm gonna start.
baptize.
I'm gonna start baptizing motherfuckers. No more judges. No more competing. He's going in there to fight. When you those last three fights that I've seen from him, I don't see a guy competing. I see a guy coming in there with intentions of hurting another human being. And the way that he throws it, like if you watch any of his earlier fights to now, the way he's throwing his shots, the way he's thinking, he's so cerebral. He's just planning shit out, like that Ben Askren flying knee knockout, where it shows him practicing that in the back room with his coach right before.
Yeah.
Like this
He's
is
trying to
not
murder
this is
fools.
not the Jorge Masvidal that we've seen before. And now, where is he? He's at his first UFC title shot, something that he's been wanting since he got into the UFC. And where is it, Jay?
Fight
It's on
Island.
a
It's on an
freaking
island.
island. It's back on an island. This all started
So
with his thought process on an island. For it to end on an island, as I told you earlier, bro, this is poetic. This is the six
that
and
is
six. This is the 6 and 6,
six
bro.
and six. So let me ask you something quickly.
Yeah.
Rebuttal that. Do you think though 3 fights is enough to put as much stock on this guy as the world is putting in him?
Listen, the reason that that stock is there is because of the kind of guy he is. People love that shit. Just the same reason people love Nate Diaz. He doesn't give a fuck, and he'll say what he wants, and he'll act the way he is. Like, right? People love that savage shit. Those 3 fights, and I'm going to give credit here to Kamaru Usman, are not the 3 fights to really. If you are basing your thought on this, how this fight's gonna go off those 3 fights, it's not the 3 fights because he fought Nate Diaz, not a real welterweight, right? A guy
No.
who I feel is best at lightweight when he's in shape. Before that, fights a guy in Ben Askren where it was kind of weird, right? You didn't really know who Ben Askren was. He
Well,
talked a lot, but
we knew who he was coming over from Bellator, but like,
yeah, but like you didn't know where he was
and
at
let's be
now.
real, that was a great knockout.
Yeah,
Not a fight though.
exact. That's what I'm trying to get. It was 5 seconds. What do you really learn from 5 seconds, right?
Yeah.
The Darren Till fight is the only fight that I really give him like high credit for. But again, as I explained, before those 3 fights, this guy's had a career. So those 3 fights were just to get his name up there,
And to
right?
build his
Because
stock essentially.
going into that Darren Till fight after that reality show that he did, people were still like, yeah, we've seen him before, but he'll probably lose this one. He's the guy that usually wins and loses. But no, he goes out and starts to knock people out, and now his name is up there in the headlines. But what I want to get at here is what we've from like the superstars in the UFC, right? What we've seen may like kind of take them to that next level. We've seen that with McGregor. We've seen that with Diaz, and we've seen that with like Michael Bisping. Diaz takes the McGregor fight short notice, comes in, wins. Diaz not fighting all the time now because Diaz is only going to fight for big money fights, right?
Yeah.
And that's all based off that one win. Michael Bisping takes the fight against Luke Rockhold, the then middleweight champ. 1 week notice, goes in there, knocks him out in the first round, becomes a huge star, fights GSP in his next fight. Then McGregor, obviously, was a different situation, but his title fight gets canceled. They bring in another guy on a week notice to fight McGregor. McGregor goes in there, knocks him out, becomes the biggest star the UFC has ever seen. Masvidal, if he goes out tonight and knocks out Usman, I'm telling you right now, will become the UFC's biggest star. And it's just drawn out for him that if he can pull this one, he knows it too.
He
Because
knows it.
you're not taking this fight on 6 days' notice if you don't think that this is really gonna put you
It's
somewhere
worth
good.
it. That it's worth the risk.
And I'm telling you, if he wins tonight, one thing we're gonna see for sure is Conor McGregor come out of retirement because Masvidal wins tonight. Conor McGregor is gonna realize that he ain't the
That's
big star.
He's not the
Well, like
biggest star, and
at the
that's
time.
that on that
Yeah,
money fight. Like
exactly.
that's the biggest money fight in the game. Then if Masvidal becomes that welterweight champ, Connor
Exactly.
always says 145, 55,
He wants
170.
3 titles.
I can win 3 titles, and that's the way to do it. Now whether Dana gives him that shot,
Yeah.
because we'll see. Now I want to get into actually what we foresee and breaking down the fight a little bit. For me, when you're saying the
Yeah.
last 3 fights, the biggest comparison I think you can make is the Darren Till fight. I watched that over yesterday, and I saw some interesting things, and even watched some Usman footage. Right.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is Nate Diaz, I would say, seems to hit a lot harder than Darren Till. Would you agree?
Oh no. No,
No?
no, 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 no.
Okay, but in the Diaz fight, Masvidal obviously
Yeah.
took a lot more damage,
Yeah.
and like you never seemed like he was shook or his legs were weak, like you knocked to the canvas. But then Darren Till was able to get him knocked down and his legs weak,
Yeah.
early in the first round, and then had him shook a couple times.
Quick, yeah.
Why do you think that is? And that vast difference, like they were just swinging
Yeah.
4 or 5 rounds or
But
four, however long it went.
it goes back to where he was right before that, man. Again, you said 18-month layoff. You finally get back into a UFC fight again, and you're in a hostile environment. You're in the UK fighting the UK's biggest UFC star. Like it takes you to get hit a little to
You got to
shake
get your
off those
chin
jitters.
ready.
Because you saw it, he took that hit. After that, he didn't get hit that clean anymore. Because
No.
after that, he was ready for a fight. Because that kind of probably woke him up.
All right.
But
And
what I did see in those 3 fights, well, what I wanted to get at here, people, because Usman, I'm gonna tell you that Usman is the real deal. He's
he's a bad,
literally
bad
one of
man.
the most talented men I've seen in the UFC, and personally, I think is the best welterweight champ we've seen since George St. Pierre. But people keep going to the fact that Usman's just gonna go in there and just start ragdolling this guy and just throw him around. In those 3 fights, obviously besides Ben Askren fight, because that was only like 5 seconds. But if you watch those fights, Jorge Masvidal actually tends to take his opponents down because
I was just going to get to that.
he himself has a ground game, and he was roommates with a guy by the name of Kobe Covington, who is a more accomplished wrestler than
Yeah.
Usman. And every day you can watch this on YouTube because they did a little like what do they call it? Like a video thing where they
Montage.
just follow their life, like a video diary where they just
Yeah.
follow their
Vlog.
lives.
It's a vlog.
Yeah, vlog. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. But they do a vlog, and you can see them in their homes every single day, just wrestling, just going back and forth and wrestling all fucking night until one of them gets the better of it. Masvidal is no joke on the ground, man. If you think Usman's plan is to just go in there and wrestle this guy for 5 rounds and just keep taking him down, you're mistaken. Usman knows this too. Usman's gonna really and hey, like I said, he's one of the best champs I've seen. since St. Pierre, especially in that division. He's really gonna have to mix it up for this one. He's gonna have to strike with him and then
Well,
figure out ways to get it to the
to
floor.
your point, in that Darren Till fight, Till took down Masvidal a couple times in the first round, but it wasn't like sustained pressure on the ground. Masvidal was able to get back
Trips,
up, and then started the second round. What does Masvidal do right away? Takedown
take his
attempt,
ass down. Yeah.
right? Now, the one thing I noticed though when I was watching Usman footage, as he tires and he gets guys against the fence, I think
Yep.
this is where I think he's going to be in problem if it becomes into a boxing match and he's not able to take Masvidal down. Because maybe I'm crazy. I don't know much about the fighting, but I find that he goes a lot wider with his punches. Like he's not compact going straight at you. And
Yeah.
Masvidal being a guy who can counter very well, I think he's going to open himself up to Masvidal cracking this guy's chin open.
Listen, if his plan at any point in that fight is to go and box him, man, I always say Dustin Poirier and obviously Conor McGregor we're gonna put in there, but and Masvidal, I think they have the best boxing in the UFC. Like those three guys, they're just their knowledge on like on the sweet science of boxing is so much higher than any of the other UFC fighters. That
Yeah.
for a guy like the reason you see Usman throw those big wide shots and stuff, it's the lack of like experience. He is a wrestler coming into learning striking,
Hmm.
and in his last fight, you can see his striking got way better than it's ever been, but it's still not there with Masvidal. That's what I'm saying. He's gonna throw in some jabs, throw in some if he really wants to win, and then go in for a takedown or clinch him and work other ways. But you can't just
But
go in there and straight box up.
the thing I'm gonna be waiting for all night is when Masvidal, just like he did to Diaz and Till, when he gets hit and he's like, come at me," and he waits, right? And as soon as you go for something to leave yourself exposed, he's pouncing on you. But
Bro,
let's flip the
I'm telling you,
script.
it's gonna be a fight.
We focused on Masvidal a lot.
Yeah,
Look at from the Usman perspective. What does he have to do to win this fight? Shut up Masvidal. They hate each other. Usman can't even stand that people think that Masvidal is gonna win this fight.
yeah. Yeah, so listen, just like with Usman, he's the same as Khabib. For those guys to be real successful in a fight and to really win a fight, they have to be the ones that take the center of the octagon and push the other guy back. If you ever notice in the UFC, there's an octagon, and then in the octagon there's an inner octagon.
Yeah,
If you've ever seen,
sure.
there's like a line drawn out. A lot of wrestlers use that as in as soon as you have the guy on the outside of the inner octagon line, you can like that's when you shoot him for a takedown because if you don't get the takedown,
He's against the
at the very
fence.
worst you get him against the fence and you can figure out a different way to trip him. This is really what you see Khabib do a lot, where he's just constantly pushing guys back, back, and they get exhausted because they're like, yo, frick, get this guy off me. Like, he's constantly on me. If it's not on the ground, it's on the cage. So for Usman to win this fight, he can't like what I like with Masvidal is what he showed with that Ben Askren knockout is the only way Askren could have won that fight is if he takes down Masvidal and holds him down for whatever 3 rounds that it was scheduled for. And what does he do? He runs in and throws a scissor flying knee. You know what that ends up usually happening? The guy missing the knee and getting thrown down to the ground. Him doing that move showed that he has no fear of being taken down or being put on his back.
No, he's a
So
fearless guy.
yeah, so this is what Usman's gonna have to try to avoid, because for sure Masvidal's gonna run to that center of the ring because he realizes he can't be backing up against wrestling.
He did it
He's
at
gonna
the
come
start
to that
against
center.
Till too.
Yeah, but again, those
Except
are
he
strikers,
he
right?
hit him in the balls
Right?
instead.
Yeah, he threw that flying kick to the ball. But what's it called? Those are strikers. So the fear of the ground game is not too big,
Yeah.
especially with Diaz. Diaz is more of a guy who works on his back, not a guy who works on top. A guy like Usman, though, you have to push him back because pushing him back, it's a lot easier for you to sprawl and stop takedowns than it is to stop a takedown against the cage, right?
Hmm.
So for Usman, he really has to control that center of the octagon. He really has to push Masvidal back to win this fight. He can't be kind of going back and forth with him, backing up sometimes, trying to make it a boxing match or something, or shooting for a takedown while he's closer to the fence, because it doesn't work, and he understands that. Because if you watch his fights, majority of the time he's the one pushing the other guy towards the fence.
Yeah. Well, look at how he threw Tyron Woodley and Ragdoll that
Exactly.
guy, man.
Exactly. And what was Woodley doing the whole fight? Running around, right?
Yeah.
Running away, like trying to figure out how the hell do I get this guy off me?
When I was watching that fight yesterday, it reminded me of, I don't know if you've ever seen this clip. Zdeno Chara was fighting Brian McCabe of the Leafs, and legit was ragdolling this guy by the jersey around the hockey rink.
Yeah. I think you showed me this.
And that
Yeah.
was like, it was like I was
The
watching
big
that.
Which is crazy. That's what I'm saying. How good this Usman guy is. Like he did that to Woodley. He ragdolled Tyron
Yeah,
Woodley. Like Tyron Woodley at one
it's
point was,
he's an elite fighter.
yeah, was competing to be the best welterweight of all time, but that quickly got shut down by
He,
Usman.
all right, let's get to the main question here. Now, both of these guys, neither of them submit their opponents. This is either it's a knockout or it's a 5-round bloodbath.
Exactly.
What do you see happening, and who you giving the win to? What's your prediction? Or if you put the and I don't want to know. And you can say you put the money on a bet 365, but sometimes the odds are you go with the odds instead of who you think's gonna win. So who you taking
Exactly.
in this fight, and how do you see it ending?
I'm telling you, bro. Uh, I'm going in for the poetic justice. I'm going in
Okay, okay.
for the stars, bro. Masvidal round one KO.
Round one.
if you watch the Ben Askren fight where he with that flying knee, and then him following up with that Diaz fight where he runs at Diaz quickly and Diaz runs back
Yeah, yeah. He
just to kind of
shook him.
scare him. Yeah. I feel Usman ain't gonna be shook. Usman's gonna come forward. If he starts to come forward, bro, I
So
don't know.
answer me,
Something.
answer me this before I give my opinion. Usman's got one loss. Was that a decision, submission,
Submission.
knockout?
He got caught in like a guillotine when he went for a takedown.
See, the one thing I don't think either of these guys, both these guys have good chins, especially Masvidal, right?
Yeah.
Usman's never been knocked out. Can Masvidal be the first guy to knock him out? Like,
Bro.
that's so tough. And now here's the thing I want to get your opinion on first quickly. If it
Yeah.
goes to a decision, it's like when we saw John Jones fight Reyes. I thought Reyes should have won that fight, but they say you got to do more to take the title away from the champ if it goes to a decision. So that's where I fear for Masvidal.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to knock this guy out because if it's even close to being even, you know the decision is gonna go to Usman.
Listen, on both sides of the argument here, it's not going to a decision.
You think
Either
no
one,
way?
no way. No, these guys have so much hate for each other that like, if Usman is dominating like he was, like if you watch that Kobe Covington fight,
Hmm.
all like yeah, to me it was 2-2 going into that fifth round. So all Usman really had to do is win the round. And I remember if you watch the fight, his corner tells him that exactly. He says, "Win this round is 2-2." What does he do? He goes out and finishes. You know why? Because he hates Kobe Covington. And he even said, the reason I chose to strike that whole time instead of wrestle was because I actually hate this guy. Like it's personal between me and him. And it's kind of where I can see where he can be mistaken with a guy like Masvidal. Because if that's your mindset into fight, saying if you really hate someone that you just want to go and hurt them, you gotta be smart with Masvidal, man. You can't be doing that dumb shit, trying to knock him out or some shit. But
No, and that's why I
he
keep
can get
saying
it done on the ground. He definitely can get it done on the ground. So, but I'm sticking with my guns here. I might look stupid come Sunday, but I'm gonna say Masvidal round one.
I'm
KO.
gonna I'm gonna go with Masvidal as well, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be round four. I think Masvidal's gonna have to wear this guy down, and he's gonna have to continually battle. He's the thing. It's either gonna be he gets him like the first 10 seconds, or
Yeah,
it's gonna go a little bit longer because once Usman starts working on the ground game, and it's gonna be
gonna be tough.
tactical. Masvidal's got to avoid the ground, but when I don't know, he can do some damage. But I think if he can stay on his feet, the advantage is so far in his favor, and that's why I think he's gonna win
Yeah.
fourth round. But it's gonna be he's gonna have to work for it.
Here's the problem though, just because it is a 6-day notice fight, you lost what 22 pounds in 6 days in a week, bro. The thing that tires out 90% of the fighters is the grappling part of MMA. And if he starts to wrestle around with Usman a lot, shit's gonna get tired, bro. When
I
you get
see.
tired, you know those shots don't hit the same.
Well, you know what?
If it gets out of the first 2 rounds, I'm gonna be real worried for Masvidal, to be honest.
Well, you know what? Some man's call you coward. You just gotta. Play defense, run around, and then take your shots. Be smart.
It's hard, bro, especially when there's another like supreme athlete across from you, bro.
So, would you say if it hits round 3, you're saying Usman's gonna win?
I think Masvidal's best chances to win come in the first 2
Okay.
rounds.
What are you, a politician giving me spin? Just say it. If it gets to round
If
3,
it
you think
passes round 2, it's a
you're
bad
taking
night for
Usman.
Masvidal.
Okay, you heard it there. So you're saying I'm totally wrong, which, hey, I don't really know shit. So this is like you making a prediction on
No,
the
hey, you
NHL
could be.
playoffs.
This is listen. This is fighting. This shit changes in 5 seconds,
I
right?
will
So
say
like,
though, before that Poirier fight, I was like, I'm never gonna take Addis's fighting advice for betting purposes because like every time you've led me astray. And then Poirier,
yeah.
you said 4th round, and I put some money on him to
So
win.
close,
I
bro.
put some money on him to just win in general, so I still made like $7. But
I
that
know
was
I
the
got
first
you.
time probably in a year that
So close,
you have
bro.
made a bet and it's actually been right.
It was the first time in my life I made a round bet with a fight, and I was actually almost right.
Dude, you have your I'm picturing that. How did Poirier not finish in the 4th, man? So
I
close.
know.
But
It's just
he
so
kept
close.
trying to go for that same submission move. I forget what it's called.
I know, but you and me would have made bank, bro.
Dude,
We
would have been a
both put money on that
would
fourth
have been a
round.
nice night. All right, any closing statements?
It's gonna be exciting, bro. And not just the main event. 2 fights we have prior to that are gonna be madness.
Okay, quickly. Holloway, Volkanovski. I think I said that guy's name right. Who are you
Yes,
taking? Who's the
sir.
winner?
Holloway. Let's go. Toronto Raptors #1 UFC fan.
I was just gonna say I'm putting money on him just because he's a Raptors fan and because I'll never forget when he lost that fight and Raptors lost the playoff game the same day. So walking off, he's like, "Oh man, first the Raptors, now this." Like
Yeah,
that's
I
a
know.
real Raptors fan.
To say that, but that just to me that shows like he's just a guy. He just likes to fight. You know,
Yeah,
like he was more concerned about the Raptors losing than
like
him
for
losing
him,
a
how
fight.
the hell is the Raptors loss and his loss on the same level in that guy's head?
I don't. He's from Hawaii too, bro. I have no idea.
All right, and then Jose Aldo is fighting. Shoot, I forget his opponent.
Piotr Jan.
Peter Yan. Who's the winner?
Uh, I got the return of the king, Jose Aldo.
I don't know.
Knocking his ass out.
I think that guy's old. I think he's over the hill. I'm gonna take Peter Yan. I don't know much
Possibly.
about Yan, but I'm feeling that gut instinct right now.
It's a good bet, bro. Trust me. Jan's a beast.
All
But
right. Thanks for watching, guys. Tune in UFC 251, ESPN Plus, or
make your bets.
find it online somewhere. Yeah. Put some money down. Take Addis's picks. If you win, credit goes to him. If he lose, well, hey, I told you not to listen to him anyways. So
Exactly.
for Addis,
I said it too.
I'm Jay Boyle. We're out of the mix. Have a good night, guys.